Part 20.12, Surah Taha, Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to Sufi Essence with Hammad Syed. In the grand theater of divine providence, every act of arrogance is met with an irrefutable sign of truth. In our previous discourse, we witnessed the beautiful and devastating spiritual arguments of Prophet Moses, peace be upon him, as he dismantled Pharaoh's false claim to divinity. Moses's peace be upon him, eloquent words, drawing upon the perfection of Allah's knowledge and the undeniable signs woven throughout creation, left Pharaoh's intellectual defenses in ruins. But a heart that has sealed itself off from truth does not surrender easily. Instead of accepting the reality presented to him, Pharaoh turns from intellectual debate to brute force and public spectacle. The verses before us now capture this dramatic shift, moving from a subtle verbal duel to an explicit challenge of divine power versus worldly sorcery. It is a defining moment in this epic confrontation. A moment where the lines are drawn and the stage is set for a public showdown that will either affirm Pharaoh's authority or reveal the magnificent power of Allah. From a Sufi perspective, this narrative is a profound exploration of the nature of denial and the courage of the true believer. Pharaoh's decision to label the divine signs as magic is a classic example of the Naif's lower self rejecting truth by reframing it in terms it can control and dismiss. He cannot intellectually defeat Moses, peace be upon him. So he chooses to fight on a different, more familiar battlefield, the superficial and deceptive world of illusion. The calm and unwavering acceptance of Prophet Moses, peace be upon him, to this challenge, however, is a testament to the spiritual state of Tawakkul, absolute and complete reliance on Allah. The true servant does not fear public humiliation or worldly judgment because their ultimate success is determined by the Creator alone. This passage teaches us that the path of the spiritual seeker is not always smooth. It often requires a firm stand in the face of overwhelming opposition, secure in the knowledge that Allah is the ultimate source of power and victory. Kanzel Iman Quran Taha 20:56-60. 56. And we did show him all our signs, but he denied and turned away. 57. He said, "Have you come to us, O Musa, to drive us out of our land by your magic?" 58. Then we too will bring you a magic like it, so appoint a meeting between us that we do not fail, neither we nor you, in a middle place. 59. He said, "Your appointed meeting is the day of the feast, and let the people be gathered in the early forenoon." 60. So Pharaoh turned away and gathered all his guile, and then came. The verses begin with a divine summary of Pharaoh's character in the 56th verse. And we did show him all our signs, but he denied and turned away. This powerful statement confirms that Pharaoh's rejection is not born of ignorance but of willful arrogance. Allah had provided him with a cascade of clear, undeniable proofs from the miracles of the staff and the hand, to the eloquent and logical arguments of Moses, peace be upon him, about the creation and the afterlife. The phrase "he denied and turned away" signifies a deliberate act of rejection. Qalb, the word for denied, carries the weight of conscious disbelief in the face of truth. And tawalla, turned away, describes the physical and spiritual act of turning one's back on the divine guidance that had come so clearly. This verse is a profound reminder that Allah's mercy and signs are abundant, but for a heart that is hardened and consumed by ego, no amount of proof will suffice. This state of spiritual blindness is the ultimate sickness, a complete seal placed upon the heart, the Qalb, that renders it incapable of receiving the light of truth, no matter how bright it shines. The Sufi understands that this turning away is the tragic consequence of the nafs overpowering the intellect and the spirit, leading to a state of spiritual ruin. Seeing that the intellectual debate was lost, Pharaoh resorts to a more primal tactic in the 57th verse. He said, "Have you come to us, O Musa, to drive us out of our land by your magic?" This is a complete reframing of the issue. Pharaoh no longer debates the existence of the Creator. Instead, he shifts the conversation to the political and social realm. He accuses Moses, peace be upon him, of being a magician, thereby reducing the divine miracles to mere trickery. But more importantly, he accuses Moses, peace be upon him, of having a sinister political motive to drive us out of our land. This accusation is a calculated move to turn the masses against Moses and Haroon, peace be upon them, by portraying them as foreign agents and a threat to national security. He transforms a spiritual war into a worldly one, a battle for land and power. This is the oldest trick in the Book of Tyrants, to hide the truth behind a veil of political propaganda and fear-mongering. He cannot admit that his own spiritual authority has been challenged, so he invents a new, more palatable threat for his people to rally against. Pharaoh, brimming with confidence in his own kingdom's power, issues a direct challenge in the 58th verse. Then we too will bring you a magic like it. So appoint a meeting between us that we do not fail, neither we nor you, a middle place. This is the moment when the battle for truth moves from a private conversation to a public spectacle. Pharaoh's arrogance is on full display. He is convinced that his sorcerers, who are the best in the land, can perform tricks that are indistinguishable from Moses' peace be upon him divine miracles. His demand for a middle place signifies a desire for a public arena, a central location where everyone can witness the showdown. He is so confident in his worldly power that he believes he can use the very same platform that Moses, peace be upon him, would have used to convey his message, to prove his own dominance and crush the nascent truth. This challenge is a moment of profound significance. It is an open declaration of war between illusion and reality, between worldly power and divine authority. Moses' peace be upon him response, in the 59th verse, is one of remarkable calm and complete trust in Allah. He said, "Your appointed meeting is the day of the feast. And let the people be gathered in the early forenoon." Moses, peace be upon him, does not hesitate or flinch. He accepts the challenge immediately and even dictates the terms with perfect assurance. He chooses the day of the feast, an occasion when the entire population would be gathered for festivities. This is a brilliant strategic move, divinely inspired. By choosing a day when the maximum number of people would be present, Moses, peace be upon him, ensures that the message will not be confined to the court, but will be a public spectacle for all to witness. Furthermore, he specifies the time, the early forenoon. This timing would be free from the deceptions of twilight and shadows, ensuring that the spectacle would be witnessed in the clear light of day. This response is a powerful testament to the spiritual state of Tawakkul. Moses, peace be upon him, is not relying on his own cunning or strength. He is relying on the one who hears and sees all, who has guaranteed his presence and support. His confidence is not born of arrogance, but of absolute certainty in his Lord. For the Sufi, this is the epitome of living a life in full surrender, where one's actions are not dictated by fear, but by an unshakable trust in divine support. The verses conclude with a final summary of Pharaoh's actions in the 60th verse. So Pharaoh turned away and gathered all his guile, and then came. The phrase "turned away" again emphasizes Pharaoh's spiritual state. He turns away from the divine truth and instead turns toward his worldly power and deception. The words "gathered all his guile" describe the meticulous and comprehensive nature of his preparation. Kaid, translated as guile, signifies a plot, a deceptive scheme, or a cunning plan. It encompasses not just his sorcerers, but all the resources of his kingdom that he would use to orchestrate this deception and ensure his victory. He is bringing every ounce of his deceptive power to bear on this single confrontation. The verse ends with a simple and powerful declaration, and then came. The stage is set. The forces of deception have been assembled and are ready to confront the singular, unadulterated power of truth. The scene is one of dramatic tension, a moment of profound spiritual importance that will reveal the ultimate reality of power in the universe. It is a showdown that every true seeker must face in their own journey. A moment where worldly illusions are confronted with the undeniable light of divine truth. Hadith, the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, taught, "A person does not reach the rank of Mutawakkilin, those who rely on Allah, until he has left his fear for his hope." Tirmidhi Hadith 2506. This beautiful hadith perfectly illuminates the spiritual state of Prophet Moses, peace be upon him, in this passage. Despite the immense threat from Pharaoh and the challenge he posed, Moses' peace be upon him fear was completely eclipsed by his hope and trust in Allah. He did not let the fear of worldly failure or the possibility of humiliation dictate his actions. Instead, he acted with complete reliance on Allah, knowing that the ultimate victory was not a matter of his own strength, but of divine will. This is the essence of true tawakkul, a state where the heart finds complete rest and courage in the certainty that Allah is the ultimate protector and the source of all power. Let us now supplicate, drawing from the profound lessons of these verses, asking Allah to grant us a deeper understanding and to guide our every step. Ya Allah, fill our hearts with the kind of tawakkul that Prophet Moses, peace be upon him, possessed. Make us fearless in the face of worldly plots and deceptions, and grant us the strength to stand for your truth. Protect us from the guile of the spiritually blind, and make our victory a testament to your magnificent power and glory. May Allah illuminate your heart and mind with the light of this divine ill. May He make your channel a beacon of guidance for all who seek spiritual clarity and truth. May your efforts be a source of immense reward, and may you be granted the highest stations of paradise. May the peace and blessings of Allah always be upon you and your loved ones. May He grant you unwavering steadfastness on the path of truth, and may your work be a testament to His magnificent names, ArRahman and ArRahim.